It's Katie Crysdale here from Lakeview Aquatic Consultants. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to social media posts about the aquatic industry. This is the second video like this I've done. The first video was very, very well received, so thank you everybody who watched, shared, commented. The main reason I'm doing these videos, it's genuinely because I want to share the great ideas I'm seeing across social media. So let's get started. Sensory splash hours are something that has been slow to gain traction, at least in Canada, other than the big water parks or multiplexes. I haven't seen a lot of organizations consistently doing sensory splash hours. In case you missed it, there are people such as those on the autism spectrum for whom walking into a water park, walking into a grocery store can be extremely overstimulating with all of the lights and noises, people and crowds. By offering a sensory swim specific times of the week or month where there are no bells, no whistles, no background noises, this can be a great opportunity to reach an audience or clientele who do not otherwise use your facility. This is an example from El Paso Water Parks in El Paso, Texas. They are a summer-only outdoor aquatic facility. You will notice every Tuesday in July they offered a sensory swim. There was limited capacity. There was a specific time. It did require booking, and it was geared towards people on the autism spectrum. But I thought this was such a neat idea almost any aquatic facility can easily implement. This next video broke the internet when it first happened.
I hired a certified lifeguard for my daughter's 6th birthday party, and I got a couple of comments about it that I was honestly surprised to get. A lot of people said that it was like too much, extra dramatic, like wasn't necessary. And while I understand it's not necessary, I kind of thought it would be helpful. But how would you feel if you had a kindergarten going into 1st grade kid or similar ages and you went to a birthday party with a pool and they had a lifeguard? I personally would be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Obviously you should still watch your kid, but it's just kind of an extra safety net, I guess. Our pool, that's our pool right there. It's an above ground pool. But like obviously things still happen in above ground pools for sure. But I don't know. I just thought it would be helpful. Also, maybe it's just my kids. Actually, I know it's not just my kids, but they're better behaved for people like in authority positions than they are for me. So like if I'm like, hey, stop messing around, stop jumping on the floaty like that, stop trying to like drown your sister, it's gonna like fall on deaf ears. But if a lifeguard blows a whistle and is like, hey, knock it off, they're listening. They're listening every time. So I don't know. How would you feel about having a lifeguard at a 6-year-old's birthday party? Is it too much? I don't know.
I thought the comment section of this TikTok was so interesting. I am a lifeguard. I've been a lifeguard for 20 years. I've been in plenty of situations where people have asked me about the appropriateness of swimming pool birthday parties, taking groups of kids to the pool. Any lifeguard will tell you one of the most high-risk environments we've seen is groups of kids of the same age, such as a 6-year-old child's birthday party, where there are not enough people to supervise kids of a younger age, that the ratio cannot be met. So kudos to this mom for hiring a lifeguard for her kid's birthday party. I'm not sure why this is so controversial. She's not making any proclamation that every birthday party needs to be lifeguarded, or she will not let her kids attend a birthday party that's not lifeguarded. She simply said for her own comfort and peace of mind, she hired a lifeguard, and people just lost their mind. Those of you who have done lifeguard training might be familiar with a very famous video called A Series of Events. I will link to that video in the description box down below. It is a very compelling account through recorded video footage of a facility where a child does end up drowning in a birthday party setting, where the birthday party parents do not end up supervising the child the way they said to the guardian of the child who ends up drowning that they would. This is just one of dozens of incidences that I have personally encountered on the job where people do not think about the risks of taking groups of kids of a similar age to the pool. It would be no different from your local mom's group meetup, your local daycare, your local kindergarten class. Great, let's do an end of year swim, an end of year pool party. And practically speaking, they didn't recognize the risk associated with having all kinds of young kids in the pool at the same time with only a small ratio of parents or caregivers and guardians. This next TikTok is not a pool at all, but it reminded me of a real life event that happened when I started managing a new pool. I showed up and I was learning from the lifeguards about the different cleaning supplies, the different products that were in use at the aquatic facility because it was a brand that I was not familiar with. I was asking questions about how we properly dilute the chemical into water. Is it diluted in warm or cold water? How much of that water do we use in the floor scrubber? And it brought me back to the sudden discovery. The staff realized that through no fault of their own, they had not been mixing the cleaning supply properly that they'd been using on the pool deck. As soon as we adjusted the ratio, diluting the concentrated chemical, as well as switching from cold water to warm water, this exact type of filth, which I would describe as chocolate milk, started pouring up off of the pool tile, which I thought was brown, but was actually more tan. That's what this video reminded me of. This next reel I thought was really interesting because it comes back to cultural assumptions.
Should Airbnb hosts be required to drain the water in their hot tub after every single guest?
I can't believe they're even asking this as a question. I did not know that in the States they don't drain tubs down between guests in Airbnbs. So in the UK, we have to. It is Health and Safety Executive Guidance. It's a very boring document, HSG 282. Between every set of guests or weekly, whichever is soonest, the tub has to be fully drained, cleaned, refilled with clean fresh water and shock treated with chlorine. And they don't do that in the States. Oh my God. That's gross.
Culturally, we are different people in different countries with different expectations and practices. I think it's so interesting to think people assume everywhere around the world people are draining hot tubs or spas between guests. Absolutely, that's a best practice, and certainly there are settings where that is required. When I get a pedicure, the bowl where I put my feet, that needs to be drained between each customer. If I'm renting a private hotel room with a jetted tub or a private hot tub on the deck that's unregulated by the province, yes, that does need to be drained between guests. However, to assume that a rental property, whether I'm in Cabo, Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona, or wherever, that every homeowner, every property management firm is draining every tub every single time, that's not reflective of reality. Sorry to burst your bubble. If you are somebody very concerned about hygiene, pool operations, if you are immunocompromised, you may not want to use public spas, or you may wish to request additional services in advance of your visit. Travel with a water test kit, travel with chlorine. It's not required in many, many countries, especially because commercial residential properties are not regulated the same way commercially pools are. I wanted to show this incredible daily water slide inspection procedure.
Good morning, my name is Ashley. I'm a supervisor in PIC here at Wild Rivers. This morning I'm a ride inspector. So what we're doing is we're just walking around, making sure all the slides are safe, checking the slide seams to make sure everybody's safe for the day. So we just finished walking Typhoon, now we're going to head over to Tortuga. I think the slide is so pretty. Whoever designed it did such a good job. So after all that, we started the conveyors and Typhoon and Tortuga is ready to go for the morning. So see you guys all later.
Here in Canada, we have a big problem that a lot of properties with water slides, in my personal experience, they're not going through the daily process of sufficiently auditing the safety of the water slide. This is at a water park, and so the standard of care, you might say, is higher in terms of the volume of people who will be using the water slide each day. But whether you're a hotel in Calgary with a single slide, municipal pool in Saskatoon with 3 slides, an outdoor campground with 1 slide, off of a dock into the lake, we all can be doing more to inspect our water slides daily. You'll notice from this TikTok, this is just a physical inspection. This has nothing to do with checking the flow rate, the water speed. There are many other components like water chemistry, rescue equipment, emergency shutoff, but it all comes back to the structure and not having gaps or cracks or opportunities for people's skin to get caught, hair to get caught, clothing to get caught, and result in serious injury. This video I wanted to share because it's so funny if you don't know what's on the other side. Some of you might know I am a frequent cruiser on Royal Caribbean ships. I love being out at sea. I had the opportunity in December 2024 to go on Icon of the Seas, which was the magnificent, very large Icon class ship. 10,000 guests and passengers. Signature of that design on the back or the aft of the ship is this infinity edge pool located in the hideaway between the 2 separate sides of the aft of the ship. On the other side of this ledge is a substantial drop off, 20, 30, 40 feet down to the bottom. I believe it's deck 8 for Surfside. There is a catch or spillover basin. This man falls in. At the time this occurred in August of 2025, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines was having a very rough couple of weeks between this particular incident, which could have truly ended in tragedy. If the man had fallen over the edge, he would have fallen to his death down below. There is no question in my mind because of the height of the cruise ship. In the same couple of weeks, there was also incidents at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island destination. There was a number of fights, as well as the water slide that cracked on Icon of the Seas. It cracked mid-slide. The slider was significantly injured, I believe, to the leg, requiring stitches, has since sued the cruise line. The cruise line has since replaced all of those clear portions of the water slide on Icon of the Seas. It appears to be happening across the fleet. There were reports on Cruise Hive. This one is really funny. If you've ever used paddles to practice front crawl arms, there is a certain order by which you have to put the equipment on or it doesn't work. This is maybe niche for those of us swimmers, but good laugh. This falls under the category of who asked for this? Does somebody want to wear a rash guard that looks like a collared shirt into the pool? Let me know in the comments below if this is something that would appeal to you. Rash guards, sun shirts, rashies, whatever you want to call them for scuba diving, skin diving, not getting burned if you have fair skin. They're not exactly aesthetic, but I thought this was a bridge too far in terms of making it look like an actual shirt. This next video I wanted to showcase both because of how impressive synchronized swimming is, now known as artistic swimming, but also because of the quality of the water that is required in order to deliver this type of visual clarity to the viewer. When we look at any sort of competition, whether it's competitive swimming, water polo, artistic swimming, underwater hockey, scuba diving, water quality makes up a huge component of the product. This woman is an incredible athlete in terms of what she's able to achieve, but our ability to watch her performance and really be impressed by what she's doing underneath the surface of the water depends entirely on the work of the pool operators, maintaining the right level of disinfectant, filtration, flow rate, any other steps that are taken to maintain this water quality. I am not a baker. This is well outside of my skill set, but for those of you who have a passion for creating in the kitchen, what a cool idea for your next staff in service. One of the projects I wanted to highlight that happened this summer was in the city of New York. They opened a brand new outdoor aquatic facility in Central Park. There was so much conversation when this pool opened as to whether this location was or was not a good idea. I am not a New Yorker, so I'm not qualified to make comments, but I did want to share this video because it is a conversation omnipresent when this facility was open.
For some reason, New York City thought it would be a good idea to open up their first public pool in the middle of Central Park, but it's a complete disaster. First off, the pool is enormous and fits up to 1,400 people, but the problem is they are literally allowing anyone inside. It's completely free, there is no age limit, so almost instantly, all of the homeless people in New York City decided to make it their public bath. Not to mention, almost any time of the day, there is a 3-hour wait just to get into the pool area. And as if things could not get any worse, apparently a bunch of fights have been breaking out at the pool, and as a result, people are being escorted out in handcuffs.
I also want to share a related video pertaining to showering. I haven't been to a New York City aquatic facility myself, so I cannot speak to the accuracy of this video, but I do think it's really, really interesting.
Your annual reminder that if you've never been through the New York City public pool system, you've never experienced anything like it, okay? So here's what you need to know. First up, you're going through the pre-screen stage. This is the lock check, the bag check, the trunk shimmy. Okay, they're gonna check your lock. You have to have one. They won't let you in without one. Then they're gonna check your bag. And then if you're wearing swim trunks, they might make you shimmy out the mesh lining to prove they're swim trunks, okay? Once you get past all that, you go into the locker room. This is the hopes and dreams stage. This is when you shove all of your hopes and dreams into said locker, okay? And I really mean all your hopes and dreams, because the only thing you're bringing to that pool deck is a towel, your soul, and a periodical bound, okay? Bound periodicals, books. Okay, you're not bringing any electronics, all phones, radios, Kindles, watches, all into the locker, okay? Cooler, they're not even letting you into the locker room, okay? Food, forget about it. Glass, never. Plastic water bottle, maybe, okay? You take 2 steps into the direction of the pool deck, you're gonna hear somebody go, "Rinse!" You're gonna turn around thinking maybe it's somebody's nickname. It's a Parks employee of 27.5 years. They're gonna yell at you again, "Rinse you!" That's you. You have to go shower in the communal shower, okay? Go rinse off, okay? Now you've made it up to the pool deck. You're dripping wet. You have shreds of dignity left. This is the shake it stage, okay? This is when they shake every shred of that dignity out of you. They're gonna shake your towel, shake your book, and maybe even shake you. I've seen it happen. Okay, you're not sneaking anything onto that pool deck. You've made it though. You've made it, you've made it, you've made it. You look out, you're looking for your lounge chair. Good luck. If you didn't get there at 10:30 with Marge, Barge, and Bill and the 75 plus crowd, you're not getting a lounge chair. You're restricted to concrete. And most pools, some of them don't even have lounge chairs. I'm gatekeeping which ones do. Okay, but now you've made it, you can get in the pool. But remember, if you want to wear a cover up, it can only be white. They have free sunscreen, and the pool closes for an hour between 3 and 4 to be cleaned. So remember, leave basically everything at home, including your ego. But don't forget your lock.
If you've been to a pool in New York, let me know if that's something that you've seen before. For this next video, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep the audio behind the reel.
This is a warning to all parents. Under no circumstance should you sign your child up for a summer swim team. This is a fantastic way to turn your summer into the staycation you never asked for. You will arrive to the meet an hour early, armed with a tent, snacks, and a false sense of hope that the meet will start on time. And it won't. If it's not due to weather, it will be due to a mysterious circumstance. But at some point, you will stop asking questions. You are a prisoner, trapped by heat sheets and the snack bar economy. But you will cheer for children you've never met, loudly and emotionally. Your kids will love every minute and ask to do it again tomorrow night. You happily oblige because who needs free time anyway? At some point, you will look back on your decisions and remind yourself that you chose this life and there is no place you would rather be.
I loved this particular reel as it really showcases how much goes into participating in swim club or being on a swim team. I've spent hundreds of hours as a lifeguard during competitive swim meets when I was working at the University of Toronto. We hosted dozens of events at all levels in terms of diving, synchronized swimming, which is now called artistic swimming, competitive swimming, water polo, all ages, club level, OUs, CIs, special events, film sets, video footage, all kinds of different things. I thought this was such a cute reel because it really highlights the spirit of swimming. I love this reel because it highlights how much leadership, professional development, and growth occur in aquatic. I had many, many opportunities as I progressed through aquatics to be junior lifeguard, senior lifeguard, shift supervisor. I remember when I got to be in charge of my first aquatic facility here in Alberta, I was not that old and I was in charge of a multi-million-dollar facility with a team of 15 people, large facility assets. So although this reel is a joke, it is accurate to the reality that lots of young people have tons of experience and many years of training when they're already put in charge of an aquatic facility at 20, 22 years old. Last couple of reels, I want to show water safety and drowning prevention is something we should all continue to advocate for. This is a great example where the child is being pretty closely supervised by the parent or guardian, but it doesn't take much for someone to trip and fall, especially a young child. They cannot necessarily get themselves up.
So I found this video on my phone yesterday and I wanted to share it with you. This is my son Toby, he's about 18 months and he's playing with a ball, as you can see, in the really shallow end at Centre Parks. The water is barely coming up to his knees and that's my husband in the blue shorts, really close to him. Both of us are obviously keeping an eye on him. Admittedly, I am on my phone filming him, but both of us are within a few metres of him. The reason we ask parents to stay within arm's reach is because if you watch what happens next, the water's still really shallow, he takes a few steps back, falls onto his bum and then falls back, and in this position he's now stuck. Obviously my husband came to save him whilst I still sat there filming, and this just highlights how quickly accidents happen. If you look at the other lady in the black costume, she's not looking at anyone except for her own children, and then she just walks off. And whilst I don't think that anyone else should be looking after my children, because I appreciate it's my responsibility, if everybody actually kept an eye out for everyone else, I do believe that less accidents would happen.
There is a real stigma about not knowing how to swim, and there is not enough being done to promote people who decide later in life to learn how to swim or improve their swimming stroke. It is definitely an environment where people may feel out of their depth, overwhelmed. They may not have the financial resources to take lessons, never mind the time or access to a pool. So I really appreciated this person showcasing how they are taking the time to work on their swimming.
I never thought I would say this, but I'm officially in my swimming era. And honestly, I kind of thought swimming was either for oldies or for hardcore triathletes, which is very much not me. But due to my spinal injury, I have been told to get in the pool, so here we are. And for the past 7 weeks, I've just been winging it with zero structure, and while I have been seriously humbled, I've also been kind of loving it. But today I thought I would finally pull my finger out and just go for my first ever adult swimming lesson to get some pointers on my technique. I was bricking it, and wow, I got absolutely schooled. Turns out there's so many things that I've been doing wrong, but I came away with a lot of tips on how to improve my swimming and actually structure my swim sessions. So I guess I'm feeling a little bit less like a novice now. I still have a long way to go, but it feels so good to challenge myself in a new way. And yeah, follow along to see if I ever master this whole breathing thing.
They may have more resources than the average person to be able to do this as a solo lesson in a private aquatic facility. But I do love to see these types of reels showcasing that it's never too late in life to learn, and it's okay to start from scratch as a beginner. We all need to start from somewhere. I have felt that way so much as a YouTuber. Sometimes it feels surmountable, like you have so far to go, but all you have to do is start and you will get better. That's it for me today. Thanks so much for watching this reaction video. Let me know in the comments if you have opinions on any of these videos I shared. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.